We've seen 3 years in a row now where Part 1 crimes have gone down here in South Bend. Specifically, 2024 compared to 2023, we've had an 11% reduction in Part 1 crimes. We really leaned heavily on ResourceRouter, and so liked the technology when we observed it, and then working with that team to introduce ResourceRouter to our department and build it from the ground up. Our officers get several tasks throughout the day. And so for us, when it comes to some of the priority things like firearm-related incidents, we want officers spending time in those areas where those occurrences have happened. ResourceRouter does that for us. We don't need the sergeant to say, hey, spend time in this area or that area because of crime trends. ResourceRouter takes those incidents and gives officers the best location to spend time in. So they become more efficient because they're in those areas where they're needed most. We have 6 mission boxes on each shift. 3 shifts throughout the day. That generates 72 mission boxes for us to complete. And we have a 99% completion rate in 2023 for completing those missions. Utilizing ad hoc missions for property crimes is a big part of our strategy here in South Bend, and we've seen a reduction in crimes in our downtown area because of that, specifically in our parking garages, reducing larcenies from auto. We're currently using an LVT, live video tower, that is also plotted on the ResourceRouter map. With the mapping overlays of ResourceRouter, we're able to plot those locations on the same map. So you can see what missions you need to work on if you're a patrol officer, what Blue Book locations look like, and we also use deterrence vehicles. We'll put vehicles out with cameras that are marked that don't have an officer in them. And so these deterrence vehicles are also plotted on that mapping. One of the important things I like to point out is when I started in my role, the chief of police and I would attend neighborhood associated meetings on a regular basis. And I kept hearing the same thing over and over again. I'm not seeing officers, like I haven't seen an officer in so long, and we just had a shooting down the street. That definitely bothered me. So utilizing ResourceRouter around that same time frame that I began my position 4 years ago. Now when I go to neighborhood association meetings, I'm hearing neighbors, I'm hearing leaders of those associations tell me, we're seeing the officers all the time now. Very happy that you had an officer out there. They're parked in the parking lot, they're patrolling up and down the street. Very positive feedback that I'm receiving from city leadership and from community leaders on officer presence, and that a lot of that is due to ResourceRouter. Officer presence can deter crime. It's one of the oldest strategies in law enforcement. One of the technologies that we introduced 3 years ago when our crime started to come down was ResourceRouter. So we definitely have to give credit to this technology for helping us reduce crime here in South Bend.